Hello and welcome to another mod spotlight. This time taking a look at Builder's Guides, which has some really cool new blocks called markers that help you in building. Now to make all of these different marker blocks, you'll need to make an item called a marker using some stone and redstone, getting 5 in return. Now the marker can be used with different items to make all the different marker blocks. And let me just scroll over them real quick so you can kind of get an idea of what's what. And you can also check out the recipes on the forum post or yourself in game using a mod like the one I'm using now, Craft Guide. So yeah, those are different markers. You can also use them to salvage back into the marker, not getting the other item. And the marker can also make a toolbox. And there is also another item called the Allen key, made like this. And the Allen key can be used to refresh some of the markers, to re-get their measurements, and to also change their modes. Now before I start reviewing the markers, there is the Builder's Toolbox here, which will not only hold the blank markers, it can hold all of these different marker blocks, as well as the Allen key in it. So yeah, it's a pretty useful little item, so you can easily carry around the stuff when you're building without taking up a bunch of inventory space. Now to get into the actual marker blocks. Okay, so I think one of the simplest ones to start with here is the laser marker. And when I put this down, it will simply show a laser line in the direction it's pointing. And if I right click it, I can change its color. So pretty much if you just want to build a straight line like a wall or something, this is a good choice. Next we have the target marker and multi-target marker. The target marker, when you set it down, seems to do nothing at first. But if I break it and instead put down a target and then set it down, it will now show the distance between the target marker and the target. And if I move it back one more, you'll see it now shows the block in the center between the two. So this is an easy way if you want to only specify certain blocks so you don't pick up other ones like dirt, trees, or whatnot, and only like the sides of your building. Now if you have multiple targets, this one really won't work as well. So instead you can use the multi-target marker to draw lines between all the targets. And as you can see, it even shows in the chat where all the targets are located. The coordinate marker is another very simple one, and when you put it down, it just displays the coordinates of itself. So you can pretty much do the same thing if you hit F3 and look at it, but if you don't want to hit F3, you can always just use a coordinate marker. Now the sky marker here is a pretty unique one, and it will just draw a line up to the world height limit. Then you can change the color like most of the other markers, and if you put a solid block, it will still go right through it. So if you want to just have a nice marker up as high as you can go, or even make it kind of like a little beacon over your base, I guess, you could just use the sky marker. Next, there's the chunk marker, which will outline the chunk you place it in. So if I place it over here, it's actually not in the chunk, as you can see, but it still highlights the area because I was standing in this chunk. You can also use it to change its color, and it marks the center blocks of the chunk as well. So this can be pretty useful if you're trying to build within a confined chunk. Next, there's the axis marker, which is a lot like the laser marker, only it goes in all directions. So you can also just change the color. So if you just want a whole bunch of straight lines in a bunch of different directions, or if you just want to do corners kind of thing, like put this at the corner of your wall and then build in both directions, this could be helpful. And just to mention, this and the laser marker both only go for 64 blocks. Next, there's the range marker and multi-range marker, which display the distance between itself and the nearest block. So if I push it down like this, it will display the distance between this tree and itself and show the center block. If I move it over one though, it will instead display the distance between itself and this block of dirt all the way over there. Now the multi-range marker does the same thing, only it does it in all directions and not just one direction. So if you want to see the distance between a certain block and all its surroundings, this is a good choice. Then there's the advanced marker, which when placed down will connect to nearby target markers to define different things like a square, for example. So yeah, this can be useful if you just want to outline a house or such with markers. And there is also the dire marker, which just makes a 9x9 area with a doorway. So if you want to build a little 9x9 house, this marker will help you outline where to build. And the last marker to show you is the center marker, which when placed down will find the center between all directions. So if I place it down here, you'll see it tells me the center block for this axis between this block and the tree is here, and the center block between that dirt wall and there is right here. So yeah, this is a good way if you just want to throw down a block and find the center of a room. Anyway, I think that wraps up this mod spotlight. Personally, I think this mod is a great way if you want some little helps and guides when building for a very cheap cost to build in survival. So hopefully you enjoy this mod spotlight, and until next time, goodbye.